This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Alyssa, I wonder if this has ever happened to you. Matt, maybe you too. We just had a commercial break. I walked over towards the kitchen. I've got an Echo Show, one of those Amazons. And we've been talking, we've said the word Devo, the name Devo, maybe like 10 times in the first hour. My Echo wants me to listen to the band Devo. These things are listening to us, and they're recommending music off of our sports talk. Tell me this happens to you, please, and I'm not the only one.
Oh, no, I've made comments about, looking at, I'm thinking about buying my mom a heated blanket for Christmas. The next thing I know, heated blanket ads start popping up on my Instagram. It's really creepy. Always listening.
I like my milkshake brings all the boys to the town. Dang right, it's better than y'all's. then maybe then you get a little.
Can't sing, but he can rap.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so there's a game tonight. It's a big game tonight.
Yeah.
It is. Chance to go 2-0. Chance for a road win. Chance to. I'm not going to say that they were taken off the hot streak on Saturday because you can get back on the hot streak with a win today against A&M. What are your thoughts on Arkansas's chances tonight in College Station?
Well, I think that this Arkansas team we've got to see if they can, if they're really buying into the sense of urgency that I think that this team is in right now. And obviously adding Nick Smith Jr. back into the mix is going to be good down the road, but you've got to get him reacclimated again. And, he was +3 when he was in there. He played okay. He's still a very talented player, even though he hasn't played in a really long time. But it also disrupted some rhythm that we have seen this team develop over that win streak that they put together. But their margin of error right now is very, very small, especially then when you lose to a team like Mississippi State at home. You've got to win one back on the road. Can it be this A&M team? I was looking, Phil, Matt, at the schedule. And if you look, sometimes you feel a little better, okay, we've played this team before. But you look at this schedule, they haven't played Florida or Georgia yet, Tennessee yet, and then they play Kentucky to round it out. And so they're about to play a bunch of opponents that they have yet to play this season, as opposed to teams that they're getting their second shot at. So if there are any games that I have a little more confidence in, it's in this Texas A&M game and then Kentucky down the road at Bud Walton Arena.
Yeah, Alyssa, I thought Nick, he's just raw. I think you're right on that. He's so talented. Just let the offense come to him, and he's going to be fine. When you're talking about the Mitchell brothers, do you think both of them start tonight, knowing that we got to keep Texas A&M off the offensive glass?
I think so. I think what they did when they played them the first time back here is what you got to do again, and go with the bigger lineup. It's been working, and Mikkel and Makai are playing with such confidence right now. I think your best bet is to put them out there. Don't mess something up that's working. And those guys are playing such good basketball. They're confident around the rim. They're starting to realize they can truly play in this league and make a difference in this league. So I would start with size and see what it gets you right off the bat.
I like how you use the term sense of urgency, because there is no given right now. You're not in a position. You got to keep winning games in order to secure your spot in the tournament. Because right now, if you believe what Lunardi says, you're a 9 seed or an 8 seed, and if you don't play well this last month, you're going to find your way on the outside looking in. And I wonder if it's the same for the women's team. You got to have a sense of urgency for these last 5 games to secure your spot in the tournament. And honestly, the men's side might be even more secure than the women's side. Even at 6-6, like this is a year in the SEC where I don't expect to see as many teams get into the tournament as usual. And really, tomorrow is like a real opportunity to cement, not your seed in the tournament, but a win over Tennessee, that would go a long way. And that would also be maybe one of the first games, if not the first, that Arkansas wins as an underdog on the women's side.
Yeah, it's huge. I was saying this yesterday on the show. Charlie Cream put out his latest bracketology yesterday, and Arkansas right now is one of the last 4 with a bye as a 10 seed. And so you're sitting right there on that ledge, and you're going to go one way or the other with these 4 games that are left for the women. And Mike Neighbors has said, we don't have it all figured out still, but he saw such good improvement from that Vanderbilt game to that Missouri game that this team can work on. But now you've got Tennessee coming in, who they're unranked right now, but have played really, really talented teams, have had a really tough schedule, and they're still Tennessee. They play well. They have the length. They have the strength. And so if Arkansas can beat Tennessee at home, that's a statement win. We all know, right, the committee obviously looks at your schedule as a whole, but so much of it can be, what have you done lately? And if this late in the season and you get a win at home over a team like Tennessee, people are going to notice that and remember that come 2 weeks from now when Selection Sunday rolls around.
Big start of the baseball season coming up. You guys at Pig Trail Nation got things planned for season preview, stuff like that. I mean, and softball's in swing too, and it's like, gosh, the bat and ball teams might be in the best position of any other program on the campus outside of track.
Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. Obviously, softball taking care of business in Vegas in dominating fashion. Truly, going out there and just handling their business was fun to see. About to go to Clearwater and open up that tournament with my alma mater, which I'm excited to watch. But great talent down there. They're going to play 3 of the 5 teams they play are ranked. It's going to be a really good glimpse at some postseason action in February, and then it's kind of like that with the men down in Arlington. And Courtney and I are going to hit the road and head down there tomorrow, and really looking forward to seeing what this baseball team brings to the table and exactly where they stand when you look at Texas, TCU, and Oklahoma State, and you've got 4 teams right there, all ranked in the top 25, really kind of setting the tone for the season.
Alyssa, what constitutes a successful baseball trip for these 3? What do we need to do as is it winning all 3 games? What do you like to see out of these 3 games for this baseball team?
Yeah, best case scenario is win them all. And even if there are hiccups here and there, being able to kind of battle through that adversity and winning it all, I think that's best case scenario. But I think success is measured if you can win 2 out of 3, or even if you just win 1 out of 3, but the other 2 were competitive, and saying, okay, this is where this coach, the pitching staff is sharp. They're on top of things. Got a little bit, one thing here or there got kind of, underneath them, and they lost a game. But if they're competitive and play good baseball but still lose, I'm still happy with that and where they can go from there.
I want to see that the team can hit, because I expect it to be a really solid pitching staff, and you're going to end up facing the kind of pitching from these Big 12 schools that you very well could see in the SEC. Look, I think the SEC, I mean, it's unquestioned, it's the best conference in college baseball. The Big 12 is not that far off. I mean, it's a really good conference, and they've got some arms, all 3 of those teams. And you very well may see, look, I mean, Arkansas's played Texas in the postseason recently. They've played TCU, Oklahoma State in the postseason. And some of it is a little bit of the same kind of pitching that you're going to see across the Southeastern Conference. So, the wild thing, though, is that so you have this kind of competition to start the season, and it's not like you're getting a bunch of cupcakes for the next month. It's just they're not SEC teams. And then you're back against the same kind of competition in a month. So, sometimes you don't know what the first weekend of the season means, because you get 14 more weeks after that.
Yeah, you do. And but it's always good to see them competitive right off the bat. And I think that just makes fans feel better, right? Like, they win, they played well, I feel better. No one doubts Dave Van Horn, and what this team looks like is right now is not what they're going to look like at the end. Or, we understand baseball is a lot of games, it's a long season. But I think the confidence with this baseball program, just from a fan standpoint, if nothing else, is you go down there, you look competitive, you win some baseball games against really good teams, even though they aren't SEC teams. That makes you feel comfortable come SEC time. Okay, we can hang in this league. We can be competitive in this league. We could win the SEC West, stuff like that. So I just think it's just a really good confidence boost for the fan base and for the team, the way that they perform this weekend.
Alyssa, you're a real baseball fan. You grew up, rooting for the Orioles. I think you're the real thing when it comes to being a baseball fan. So I want to ask your opinion about some of these rules changes, not the college rules changes, but in the majors. No shift, pitch clock. Being strict with that pitch clock, larger bases, ghost runner at second base in the 10th inning, which I don't land. That's the only one that I kind of criticize. I'd like to see that in the 12th inning. But as somebody who loves the game, I wonder your opinion on these rules changes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You talk about, I think, the shift. The first things first. It's no secret to anybody as a Dodgers fan. They do it a lot, and they've been doing it for a really long time. They were one of the first teams in Major Leagues to do that shift. And so now, looking at from Dave Roberts' point of view, how are you adjusting your defense if you can't do that? That's, I think, the biggest thing from my team's point of view. How is that going to affect things? Because you're back to playing traditional defensive baseball again, and not just using analytics to determine if you can get a guy out before he even steps into the batter's box, just based on where he hits the ball percentage wise. You kind of get back to that old traditional baseball. So I don't hate that, but it's going to change a lot with the analytical world of baseball we live in. The ghost runner on second, I'm a traditionalist. I really didn't like it when they did it in 2020. And so, I could do without that one.
Well, traditionalists don't like the pitch clock because of the timeless nature of the sport. I love the pitch clock. Yeah. I watch enough minor league games in person.
The game does need to be quicker.
Yeah. And look, the way the game was played in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, without a pitch clock, and the 80s too, was played faster than it is now. So it's really just a matter of, all right, you guys aren't going to go quicker, so we're going to force you to go quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, the games are getting longer and longer. I mean, we can make that argument right now in college basketball. These games used to be 2 hours, and now they're 2.5, 2:30. They're longer games, and just sports in general need to look at how we can kind of quicken these things up a little bit.
Well,
I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, these officials, they use it as a crutch. They use this under 2 minutes. Yeah, and then it just the last 2 minutes takes a half an hour.
Yeah. Speed it up.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.